Morning, it's April 26th. I'm out at Park Circle playing the shorts in the C position, having just finished reading Numbers 25. After Balaam is only allowed to bless Israel instead of curse it, we see that Israel's living in the land of the Amorites that they've conquered, and they've got these Moabite and Midianite neighbors. And Numbers 31 and Revelation 2 tells us that Balaam comes up with a plan that doesn't involve cursing Israel. Instead, the Moabites and the Midianites invite Israel to, hey, come worship our gods, eat in our feasts, hang out with our daughters. Hang out. So Israel ends up joining in the idolatrous practices and yoking themselves to Baal of Peor, although they're already in a covenant relationship with Yahweh, so this is a bad plan. This is unfaithfulness at the highest level. So a couple of different things happen at once. The Lord tells Moses to go hang the chiefs who have yoked themselves to Beor in the sun, that the Lord's anger and wrath might be turned away. Moses doesn't exactly do that. Instead, he commands an order that those who have yoked themselves to Beor be killed. And it also appears a plague breaks out at the same time. So in the midst of all this judgment, it says the congregation of Israel is meeting and weeping before the tent of meeting when one of the that's a beautiful sight. One of the chiefs takes his Midianite girlfriend into the tent in blatant disregard for the active judgment of the Lord for idolatry and sexual immorality. This Israelite is continuing to practice idolatry and sexual immorality with foreign women. Phinehas, the grandson of Aaron, through Eleazar, the priest, he won't have it. It says he got up, he took a spear, he followed them into the tent, into their chambers. He likely caught them in the act, because it says he pierced them both through the belly. One hit. And because of his zeal for the Lord, the plague was stopped with only 25,000 of Israel dying. The Lord blesses Eleazar and tells him that because of his jealousy for the Lord, he'll be a priest, making atonement for the people just like he did. It's a really beautiful thing. The passage ends by instructing Moses to go and harass the Midianites because of the ways that they have tempted the Israelites to sin. It's a glorious thing. But what in this passage helps us look forward to Jesus? It's a good question. Well, for one, I think Phinehas is an excellent image bearer of the Lord in his jealousy. We see a similar jealousy for the Lord in Jesus when he cleanses the temple. Dirty putts. So a meaningful application here in saying that even when the Lord has protected us from our enemies, he's atoned for us, he's redeemed us, he's protected us from cursing, the temptation is still going to be there to engage in what the Lord says, or what the world says is pleasurable, to fall back into idolatry in various forms. And that's just, like, Christ is so much better than that. Like, why would we do that? And yet the temptation is always there. May we, because of the finished work of Christ, be more like Phinehas, spiking our sin to death, taking with it anything of the world that would continue to tempt us. There's also a beautiful model of church discipline in there where the judgment of one becomes a warning for others. But ultimately, Jesus is better than Phinehas. He's borne the Lord's wrath that we rightfully deserved. on himself. So rejoice in it today that we can be saved through the finished work of Christ. Turn away from idolatry to the living God. See you next time.